All right, hello everybody, and welcome to another video of Green Square Talks Battlebots. So, yeah, this was a little bit of a delayed episode review podcast. Not a problem though, because we got a big treat for this one. Co-hosting for this one, Pory, Bleze, and Civilian Arc all returned for another podcast. But guesting on this podcast, we have Chuck from Ghost Raptor here, absolute legend in the sport. How's it going, all four of you?
Awesome.
You said my name before, Civ. I am very happy.
But anyway, we got the final episode of Battlebots Champions, the 5th episode before the Golden Bolt bracket. So we already know what the other spot is because we've already released our prediction podcast for the Golden Bolt bracket. But we got to review this one too. So, and yeah, a lot of big names in this bracket: Black Dragon, Whiplash, Captain Shredderator, Hijinks, even Sub-Zero in a way. Ghost Raptor 2, legendary robot, same thing with Overhaul, and then debuted a Perfect Phoenix. So lots of robots I was really looking forward to seeing in this one, all leading up to the gatekeeper being Witch Doctor, the runner-up from the recent season, who had announced on social media prior to this that no matter who they fought, they would be using the single disc for reasons that Pory explained in the prediction podcast. And basically there was a bunch of frame damage to where they weren't able to place the weapon. You can explain that if you want, Pory.
It's what I heard. I heard that like Tantrum like messed up like the bolts on the bottom of it or something in that final fight, and like it couldn't swap out weapons. I could be wrong.
Yeah, that's what they said on social media, if I remember correctly.
Oh, did they say that on social media? Okay, then yeah. Hopefully I'm not wrong then.
So yeah, we're gonna go ahead and deep dive into each fight one by one. As usual, if you haven't seen this one, there will be spoilers. So
no,
yeah,
really?
If you haven't seen this one yet, be sure to check it out and then come back here and hear some awesome discussion about these fights. Let's go ahead and discuss the first one. And yeah, oh yeah, this one. And so we got to see the return of Sub-Zero after a little bit of a disappointing qualifying season with losses to Shatter, Bloodsport, and Hijinks. Three entertaining losses in my opinion, and at least like they were quality in my opinion. And then we got the debut of Perfect Phoenix, the return of Tyler, little boy, a genius kind of is what I'd probably say. Well known for winning so many competitions outside of BattleBots and making his return with Perfect Phoenix here for this one. So yeah, this one was kind of a driving war, I felt, to see who could get the big hits on the other. And sure enough, that's kind of what we were seeing in this one. So we'll go ahead and leave the floor to anybody here then. What were y'all's thoughts on the fight?
So give me a little background on Tyler though. That's curious for me because I have a young son.
Yeah, kind of like Tyler's been really well known for doing so well in other competitions. And it's like, I know he's performed so well at Robo games. The one that kind of like really made himself well known to me was Battlebots from season 1, where he got third place in that competition with his Beetleweight Captain Doom. And yeah, I know Zach Lytle was talking about at the end of Scorpios' fight with Perfect Phoenix that I forget what competition it was that he was judging, but he managed to win not just the league with the youngsters, but the adult league as well. Basically, Tyler's been so well known for his driving abilities. Despite being as young as he is, and he's won several competitions because I know Robo Games is a big one he's been well known for, and I guarantee there are several others. Like,
so wait a second. Robo Games has been off the grid for.
It's coming back.
Yeah,
it's coming back. I heard it's coming back. I got word. That's great.
Yeah. I'm really looking forward to that.
But man, this kid was cutting his teeth early then. If he was on the early Robo Games or a couple years back.
Yeah, and he's done a solid job driving Perfect Phoenix. Last season, and definitely showing off some of his driving abilities to some of his opponents. And I would definitely say he outdrove Logan Davis pretty well in my opinion.
Oh yeah.
And in this 100%. Fight.
I mean, according to Zach, he's better than like 80% of the adult drivers at BattleBots. So
he's a good.
Well, that's not too hard. I mean, you got to understand. What's the difference between my generation millennials or whatever. It's pretty much right. Everybody's a gamer, and it's a lot easier to develop those skills when you're 8 years old as opposed to trying to do it when you're 30 or 40
Oh, that is true.
or older.
Yeah. Definitely. Yeah, because I know Battlebots even talked about how like Matty Vasquez and this bracket as
Yeah,
well.
he got
has been-
started pretty young.
yeah,
too.
he got started pretty young, and that's kind of what helped him. That kind of was one thing that helped him develop into the driver that he's so well known as today.
Yeah, it just gives you a different comfort level too. I mean, when you're up there, it's easy to kind of get freaked out. There's a lot of stuff going on, and then if you're just a natural gamer and it's something you do all the time, you just kind of slip into your zone.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, so
this
Bleze,
fight,
for anybody, y'all
this
want to
fight-
talk about the fight?
Yeah, this fight I feel was definitely gonna go one of two ways. Either what happened, Perfect Phoenix was gonna drive circles around Sub-Zero, or theoretically, I mean, Sub-Zero did get a flip on Perfect Phoenix. They just didn't get lucky enough to land it on its back. Because I mean, Perfect Phoenix can't drive upside down, it can't self-right. So all Sub-Zero really needed was a flip, and they unfortunately didn't get that. And I figured it was either going to be Perfect Phoenix gets flipped quickly, or unfortunately Sub-Zero got torn apart. And as much as I love Sub-Zero, and when I did like a video talking about the old Sub-Zero, they were incredibly helpful. I feel that the current Sub-Zero is unfortunately a little, I don't want to say outdated, but like it's definitely built by like classic
You can
era
use that word.
standards.
Not as good as it used to be.
Yeah, I like when
Cool,
in the
Mars
era
are.
where like so many robots are built with like fancy like billet frames and stuff. Sub-Zero is kind of going like the retro style with their build.
I mean, all right.
It's definitely old school. I mean, you look back and it's like, yeah, exactly what you're saying. Everybody's like condensed. The successful robots are the dense robots. As you can see, Ghost Raptor is similar. It's a similar build. It's frame, wheels, built out, lots of weak points, and when the real solution is just make one billet, make it really dense.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Civ, you want to talk about the fight?
Yeah, okay. So I thought this fight would be a bit disappointing, but I was wrong. This was
Fun.
probably my favorite fight of the episode, if I'm being honest, because they both put up a big fight, and seeing Perfect Phoenix perform that well, especially after a semi-decent run in 2020, was pretty fun to watch. So, yeah, fun fight. Sub-Zero did pretty well on the opening, and then so
You got any words to say, Bleze, about the fight?
Fuck you, Cordy.
hopefully Cordy's not watching this podcast, although I feel
he's not gonna watch it.
I feel he's probably not going to, but you never know.
Would you lose
What's wrong
that?
with
I'm
But
happy that Mantine's not here because he would probably bully me for where I had Perfect Phoenix. Yeah.
It's true.
he probably would, but yeah, I was pretty impressed with honestly both robots because we got to Sub-Zero took the hits very well despite taking some severe damage to their front, the flipper. They lost a wheel pretty early on in this one, and Perfect Phoenix as well. They were able to do that much damage. I knew they were definitely capable of it, but I didn't think it was going to be like as devastating as what we saw right there. And yeah, like Civ said, I would say this is probably one of my favorite fights of the episode. I'd probably say Perfect Phoenix's next fight was probably my favorite one of the episode. Oh, just because that last hit. So
I'm watching this live right now because I actually skipped over this one. I was watching some of the other fights.
oh yeah.
I feel like Sub-Zero made the same mistake we always make in the beginning, and he gave up that first good shot on the spinner.
Yeah. It was nice to see Sub-Zero get a couple of flips in. It's too bad that Perfect Phoenix landed the opposite way that Sub-Zero was hoping for in that one. Because like Pory said, the best way to beat Perfect Phoenix is to flip it over because it probably can't self-right. Right? Most likely
No, we know
cannot.
it. We know it can't.
Well, that's how Big
There's-
Dill beat it.
Yeah, that's how Big Dill won it, and I'm pretty sure this is almost the same, at least almost
It's
the same
also the
version
Oregon
as what
one.
we saw last
Yeah.
season. And
It's probably just like it's probably the same version, just like a rebuilt chassis.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
yeah, kind of like regarding Sub-Zero, like what Pory was talking about, like I definitely feel it probably is in need of some design changes to it, but I hope it comes back to Battlebots because like I know Quarry's
Yeah.
talked about it several times, but like it's probably one of the OG flippers. Like it's a legendary design. And
oh, I thought you were talking about Perfect Phoenix.
sorry about Subs. Yeah. Oh no, I'm
Perfect
talking about
Phoenix.
Sub-Zero for that one. Like
Thanks for that legacy
and
behind it, too.
plus there aren't many flippers left in Battlebots because I think there's like 4 or 5 last season. It's like let's see, there
Hydra,
was
Lucky,
Flip, Hydra,
Sub-Zero.
Sub-Zero, Lucky.
Anything.
So for
But-
Sub-Zero to redesign though, I mean, just to get you in the head of somebody who's kind of in the same position,
Yeah,
he's put a lot of years into that design, right? He's put a lot of blood, sweat, and tears into it. He's like, this is design. I just need to change this 1 or 2 other things. It'll be a rock solid design.
yeah,
And you get in that headspace and you're like, well, do I really want to commit to all that money, all that time, all that testing that goes along with building basically a new robot? And it's hard to really commit to that. It's hard to say to yourself, okay, well now whatever I do, I'm gonna burn all my energy into this new thing. Forget about the old thing.
yeah, fair.
It's a trap. It's a trap.
Yeah, I
'Cause
also
think
found
you
it.
think whatever you came up with first is the right idea, but it's not necessarily.
Yeah, I also felt bad because like Sub-Zero's schedule is like brutal this year. Because like
Yeah.
while 2 of their opponents were like Hijinks and Perfect Phoenix, which probably aren't as high tiers, like for example, Lockjaw's opponents this season, like 3 horizontals was like what Kraken got and lost
Yeah.
where they lost
Not
their
to-
horizontal plow.
Not to mention the 2-seed of this too.
Yeah, definitely. Like Bloodsport was a huge horizontal spinner to get up to draw against, and then following that 2 more horizontal spinners and Hijinks and Perfect Phoenix, and like
And then not to mention it started the season off with a quarterfinalist.
Yeah.
So
yeah, I kind of understood the Shatter and Sub-Zero matchup because like Shatter went far last season, and Sub-Zero showed a major amount of potential in the Witch Doctor bounty from last season, managing
Yeah,
to
but-
make it all the way to Witch Doctor in that one. And
but that doesn't mean that
but-
it was a brutal schedule. That it's not part of the brutal schedule though. So
oh yeah, but basically my point is like this was like a rough schedule for Sub-Zero. Oh, at least like starting off with like Shatter and then getting 3 horizontal spinners in a row. Oh, right off the bat.
Yeah.
And
Yeah, he would have been a lot better off with a vertical.
but yeah, I really hope Sub-Zero comes back because like while they did go winless this season, and Chuck definitely makes the point that there's a lot of money and work going into this, like definitely Sub-Zero, I would say, had quite a few quality fights at least out of this, but yeah, I'm assuming we'll probably find out at some point whether we could see we'll see Sub-Zero again in an upcoming season, which I hope is the case because, like Aaron Hill said, after I want to say the Overhaul fight, or it might have been the Lockjaw fight, Flippers got to stick together. And
Yeah.
Yeah, they're a dying breed.
oh yeah, definitely.
Mhm.
So yeah, and it was fantastic fight by both these robots. Great way for Sub-Zero to go out. Perfect Phoenix moved on to the next round, and
Perfect Phoenix is gonna go all the way next season.
Okay, Bleze.
yeah. Anything else on this fight, or should we get to Black Dragon and Overhaul?
Let's get to the next one.
Yo.
Yeah, just want to start this one off saying that as a Black Dragon fan, I really wanted to see Overhaul pull this one off after seeing that image that they got a bite on Black Dragon,
Yeah.
or were going to get a bite on Black Dragon. Because like Overhaul, definitely a design that's been there since 2015. Hasn't really. I don't think they've gotten a win ever since that season too.
They
No,
did,
no, they got
no.
Chomp in 2018. And I'll just forgetting that, but. Regardless, though, my point is that I think Overhaul is an overdue for a victory, and a victory over Black Dragon would be crazy,
Yeah.
even if it's one of my favorite robots. And so I wanted to see Overhaul pull this one off. But what happened in that fight was kind of what I was expecting, because I know I was talking to, so I want to say Bleze about this. I might have been talking about it in Pory's Discord server, but knew pretty well that I didn't think the bite that we saw right there was going to stop Black Dragon, because Black Dragon's durability has been incredible the past few seasons.
Yeah.
But regardless, though, I want to hear everyone's thoughts on this fight then.
Well, I can tell you years ago, if you had seen a match open up like this, where a robot was this dominant, as long as they kept running through the match, they would have won. I mean, it's just amazing to see Charles do this well right in the first minute or so. And,
Yeah.
you know, it looks like, hey, yeah, you got him. You're going to put him on the screws. You're going to just, you know, immobilize him. And then to see it just completely turn around. I mean, it's kind of a testament really to the durability of the robots and just the lethality of the robots now, that you can see such a wild swing in the momentum of a match. Because definitely during the early 2000s, like 2002, if you saw this on BattleBots, you saw that opener, that would have been any robot like that would have been dominant.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, it's a very fair comment to make. And yeah, because like you could really bring Robot Wars into the mix, like Razor in the classic series, because like as soon as they like got a bite into their opponent and started sinking their crusher in, like that was it for most of their opponents.
Oh,
And definitely could make the case right there.
I don't think they're at that level of pinch force, but they're not far off. And certainly, most of the robots prior to the latest seasons, it would have punctured them.
Yeah. By the way, Quantum, please come back someday.
Based.
Yes.
Isn't Quantum planning on coming back for this season though?
I've heard a rumor that they're planning on coming, that they look to come back for a future season, but haven't really heard much word, or at least nothing's really confirmed to me. So we'll find out. We'll find out in the future. I'm
Quantum
guessing.
Gets honestly, all Quantum really needs is a counter forked verts, and then it's.
Yeah,
can go for it.
But then that's a difficult task for a crusher, especially. Like just take the Lockjaw and Death Roll fights, for example. Well, but it was amazing how close they did come to taking out Death Roll right there. Because I would say if they got both weapon belts in that bite, I think they would have won that fight.
Yeah.
Yeah, kind of going back to this fight, then Pory, Bleze, and Civ, you three want to talk about this one?
So when I saw the first 10 seconds, I was really hoping for the upset just so I could laugh at Green. But unfortunately, BattleBots gods don't like it. So but it was a fun fight. Don't really see grapplers like so it's fun to see. Especially since this is probably Overhaul's best performance, and I think it's entitled thing that it's like second Lockjaw match, but the Black Dragon one was really fun to watch.
Yeah, definitely a fair case. Like I would definitely say this fight was a lot better than I thought it was than like basically like Pory and I are BattleBots supporters on Facebook. Like we saw that this fight was going to happen like a long time ago. And yeah, I was thinking like one-sided fight for Black Dragon. Like it was great to see Overhaul get a great moment in this one where they probably had like the first half of this fight. Well, I don't know exactly. They were probably winning the first half of this fight, I would say. But Yeah, Pory and Bleze, you two want to talk about this one?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, you go ahead, Blaze.
Yeah, okay. Well, I think arguably the best moment of Overhaul's career happened in this fight, where it got a suplex on Black Dragon, which is, and I remember not watching the full fight. I saw the first half, and then I saw Black Dragon like get like some of the like treads off of one of the tires, and then I went to go do something and came back, and I saw it ended. So from what I saw, I thought Overhaul won the fight, but obviously Black Dragon won the fight because the best moment of the episode happened with Black Dragon in the next fight. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
Pory, you want to talk about this one?
Yeah, I mean, I don't much to say except it was fun. You know, I love the suplexes. So
Yeah, I
was
was gonna
definitely down
comment on
for
the
it.
suplex following this,
Yeah.
which was probably my favorite moment of the match when Overhaul was constantly trying to suplex Black Dragon, but ended up slamming them into the floor instead. Then they managed to get that suplex right there, and it was incredible to see. I would definitely
Oh,
say
yeah.
Black Dragon won this fight on damage because, yeah, like Bleze said, they eventually started picking off the tread pieces on those tires. There's giving Overhaul movement problems, and yeah, that's kind of what I felt led to Overhaul's downfall. But
Yeah.
gotta imagine though, like if this fight, if the judging criteria was a bit more balanced
Fair.
between like damage, control, and aggression, this fight could have gone to Overhaul. All honestly, and or like if the judging criteria is like it was in the Comedy Central era,
Well,
similar
it
to what
was
similar to what
15,
Chuck was
15.
saying very early on in this one, and there's
Was
there
damage
could-
even a criteria back then? I'm pretty
Yeah,
sure
it
it was.
I'm
I
pretty
thought it
sure
was
I'm pretty sure
control and aggression.
if I remember right,
Aggression, strategy,
damage, control, and aggression were
damage.
equal.
Yeah,
Well,
15 points each.
was
Oh,
that what
okay.
it was, Chuck?
Yeah, from what I recall, it was.
I remember it was 15 points each.
Yeah, it was definitely even, and it wasn't until you got the damage started to dominate and be the predominant measure.
Yeah,
That's kind of a boring judging criteria because
yeah,
like you can dominate a fight, but your opponent like gets like you lose your weapon like in the last 10 seconds, and then your opponent could win the fight because of damage. So
Civ was hoping to
I think
laugh
it's
at.
pretty. I think it's
Civ
pretty
was
legit. I mean, you got these pusher bots, and I think it's to discourage pusher bots, right? You want to see damage.
Yeah, because like
still,
Battlebots is all about like making an entertaining show for like Discovery, and lots of the entertainment comes from like the damage caused by
Killer
spinners
Bee.
and the pretty sparks caused, and
from Killer Bee.
I think that's a lot of that is the reasoning why damage is so emphasized now in Battlebots and why spinners have so many big advantages.
All right. Okay.
Yeah, and
On to the next fight now. What was the next fight
but
again?
then gotta say though, Civ was hoping to laugh at me if Overhaul won this fight. I got to laugh at 3 of y'all for Blacksmith Deadlift, and shout out to Deadlift for
Yeah.
sending me one of the wedgelets from that
You
fight,
bought
which
one
I
of the
bought.
wedgelets.
I bought it off off eBay. They do have 2 parts available. Well,
Yeah.
still, so and Bleze will soon be getting not one of those 2 parts, but one of the parts that's already been sold.
I'll be
So,
getting, and that'll be my first part ever. So
yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. Shout out to Deadlift for sending me it. It's like that is an awesome piece right there.
I
And
don't feel like lugging the arm over here. Otherwise, I would.
yeah.
We're gonna make a whole deadlift.
I
at
don't
one
feel
point.
like driving the 2 hours right now to go get the side armor piece back to my place.
I don't
Wait
have-
here, guys. I'll be right back.
I don't have the wedgelet, so I physically can't do anything about that.
Right. Yeah. I hope to do a
Alright.
parts showcase video at some point, but I need all my parts in one place, including my Ghost Raptor parts, because I do have 5 Ghost Raptor pieces here. When Malice was offering
pieces?
Ghost Raptor parts off their site, I bought 5 of the little pieces. Unfortunately,
Awesome.
they're over in my hometown right now rather than in my
Great.
college dorm room. So, but Yeah. Anything else on Black Dragon overall? Not really. So, oh, what you got, Bleze?
Overhaul has eyes. I just noticed that
They
right
got
now.
blip eyes.
Oh,
It got the blip eyes.
Regardless, though, that was a phenomenal fight. A lot more back and forth than what I
Oh,
thought it
yeah,
was going to be.
Smurf.
Oh, hey, Smurf.
Smurf?
Smurf's here.
Smurf?
Smurf?
No way. Smurf?
Smurf?
Smurf making his debut appearance on the podcast.
He said in the chat,
Yo.
Hey, Smurf. Yeah, Smurf making his very first appearance on the podcast. It sounds like,
this is rare.
yeah, definitely. So I can see the comments section. One of you can read it out if you want. But
He said, "Hey guys."
okay, so let's go ahead and move on to the next one then. Hijinks and Whiplash. So
Hey
Yeah,
guys,
this-
I gotta check out for 1 second. I'll be right back. Just
all right,
give me a minute. Okay.
Yes. All right.
Perfect.
I want to talk. Okay.
go ahead.
So this like Whiplash this season, prior to this fight, Whiplash hasn't really been that great, and I'm a Whiplash fan. And then this fight happened. Yeah, I'm happy.
Absolutely.
I'm happy for a different reason.
Yeah, you're happy because you hate hijinks.
Oh, damn.
What do you
Well,
got,
this fight was
Pory, for
fun.
this one then?
This fight was fun. I mean, there's not much
Panic
much
attack.
more to say. I mean, this was probably Whiplash's best fight of the season.
Yeah, Smurf, you can put stuff in the comments section if you got some thoughts to say about this fight. You're absolutely
Yeah.
welcome to get involved in conversation.
Yeah,
But-
yeah. I want to say, I want to say this is probably. Oh no, Scorpio's is a pretty good fight, I guess.
What I'm going to do is I'm going to put the chat box right here.
Yeah, this fight was fun. Hijinks definitely wasn't a slouch in this. But you know, Whiplash is just kind of designed to take on the horizontal spinner.
Yeah.
But yeah.
What I will say about this fight is while this fight definitely went better than I expected, this fight went the way I expected it to, this fight was closer than I thought it was going to be, because Hijinks had some pretty solid moments here. Because I will say this was another one where I felt Orion Beach, despite not coming out with the victory, he drove it very well. He used the tail of Hijinks just to try to get underneath Whiplash and allow them to spin up to full speed and then land a hit on Whiplash. They debuted a new bar spinner for this one. I think they talked about it a little bit on social media, but I don't remember much involving that at least. But yeah, we got to see it do a little bit of damage to the plow, but not a terrible amount, at least from my view of the screen right there. But I don't know how much it's possible they could have done so much more than what I personally saw. But hopefully we'll see a damage report at some point from Whiplash and or Hijinks. So but it was a fun fight. But one thing I will admit though is well, I first want to make this clear. I agreed with the decision. Basically, I felt Whiplash won this fight, but
Okay, good.
I had a gut feeling that this was going to be a split decision. I thought I was predicting that. Oh, we hear something from Smurf.
Ayo.
Oh, yes. I
Side
don't
note.
know. Oh, we got words from Smurf.
Smurf's talking.
Rare reveal. Let's go.
Yeah.
What?
Once in a lifetime
No.
reveal.
Smurf voice reveal. Holy shit.
Holy
Rare.
Face reveal in 2 weeks if I get my hair dyed.
Hair down.
oh boy. But
Oh yeah.
yeah, regardless though,
Yeah.
I had a gut feeling that the decision for this one was going to be split, because damage is so emphasized, like what we were talking about, and Black Dragon Overhaul, and while there definitely was not much damage in this fight, we definitely saw almost all the damage was done by Hijinks' spinner. And so I was wondering, and so I had a gut feeling that there was going to be a judge that was going to score this fight in Hijinx's favor because of some of that stuff alone. But regardless, anyway, regardless though, it went the way it went the way I expected it to, the way I would have scored it. So, and it was definitely a better fight than what I was imagining. So, yeah. Yeah, so. Oh, look at
Good.
Pory over there.
I mean, we got the Smurf voice reveal.
Yeah,
so
we heard the
Yeah,
Smurf,
that's
we heard the
rare,
Smurf
honestly.
voice reveal.
yeah.
Yeah, this was the flash though.
Let's get to the next fight, but it's Chuck's fight. So.
Yeah,
Doesn't
definitely.
feel- Doesn't feel right to not have him here.
Let's
We could briefly talk about that fight. So, unless if anybody else has anything to say about Hijinx and Whiplash, we go ahead and get to Ghost Raptor Captain Shredderator while we wait for Chuck to return.
I gotta ask you guys, since I wasn't there and y'all talked about it, what was your guys' opinion on kill yourself on Deadlift series for their mid-series finale?
What was that?
I wasn't there to see you guys talk about it, so what were your guys' opinion on the mid-series finale of Kill Yourself on Glitch?
Oh, the Kill Yourself on Glitch series.
Oh man,
I don't know.
can't wait for season 2, man. That's gonna be
Oh
great.
yeah, we got a season 2 coming. Anyway,
it's
but
not over yet.
season one may not be over because we don't. Basically, Captain Mantine in our in the episode review of whichever one it was that Glitch won.
Rotator.
Captain Mantine started his series basically something like
Kill yourself on Glitch.
Yeah, kill yourself on Glitch, because he noticed that almost every robot that fought Glitch in there, they're won by going head on with Glitch, and that proving to be a big mistake. So,
Lost by going head on with Glitch.
Lost by going head
won.
on with Glitch. Glitch won the fight by their opponents going head on with Glitch. So
Kill yourself on Glitch, my favorite series. Coming.
we'll find out if
soon to
we'll find out
DVD.
if season 1 is over since they fight
Disney
Witch
Plus.
Doctor in the upcoming episode. But yeah, let's go ahead and get to this one. Start talking about this one. So Ghost Raptor and Captain Shredderator, assuming we'll see Chuck at some point return here, but we can briefly talk about this fight to start this one off. So coming soon to DVD, Kill Yourself on Glitch. Blaze.
He's back.
Hey, just in time.
Oh, just in time, because yeah, we just flipped over to Ghost Raptor, Captain Shredderator. So
Yo.
Perfect timing.
yeah, and
Perfect
so
timing.
before I ask everybody what their thoughts were on the fight, what was kind of the strategy for taking on Captain Shredderator in this fight?
Is that a question directed at the driver builder?
Yeah.
Probably.
So yeah, it was, Shredderator's an easy one. This little attachment scoop you see on the front, it's just a straight flat wall vertical with two little low scoops on either side. And the whole point was to get him between them, right? Just keep him between those. I can kind of control him a bit. He's not going to punch through the AR-400 that I've got on the front. And just track around with him. And then, I had the weapon, and that's the light weapon head. I knew I would probably never be able to crack that nut. He was just, I think he's a full, if I remember right, he's a full half inch. That's a thick shell. So I wasn't going to punch through it. But what I was hoping was to pop off, hit him hard enough where I would pop off one of his little knockers. And, I didn't do it directly, but I do think I weakened the one that ended up falling off. And that's when he hit the wall, it actually finally peeled out.
Yeah.
But the strategy was pretty obvious. It's just like keep him in front of me, try to, be aggressive, do damage, and not let him catch the edge of my scoop.
Definitely, and I'd say it went very well in your favor for the most part. at
For
least.
the most part.
yeah.
I always pay one way or another.
Yeah.
This robot never comes out of a fight unscathed.
Yeah, almost no robot come out unscathed.
Sorry.
It's because. Yeah, so want to hear from everybody else then what they thought of the fight. Then
Yeah, so I
Oh,
was
are
very
you gonna
impressed by
switch?
this
Oh.
performance for sure. I thought your driving was definitely on point, and it made me very happy to see Ghost Raptor get the dub. I saw a lot of people in like the Facebook group going off that like they disagreed with the decision, but I agreed with the decision.
Yeah, the decision was
Yeah.
correct.
yeah, like this
Well,
this is another thing where like I'm curious what the case what people why people think Captain Shredderator won the fight. Like I'm curious what the argument is with
The
that one.
argument I saw was a lot of people were saying that Shredderator did all the damage, which is just not true.
Yeah.
self-inflicted damage is still
Still
damage. and-
damage.
Yeah.
Yep.
I can see the argument. I don't see. I was actually surprised that it was a unanimous decision, because there was. I could see why you would go one way or the other.
But did you think that you won the fight?
Yeah, I felt I won the fight, but I wasn't sure. And you never leave it to the judges. I mean, if you really want to win, you never leave it to the judges. So, in my mind, we both lost if we went that far. We should have one way or another kind of dominated the
Why
other.
would you go to the judges? That's the one thing you're not supposed to, Chuck.
Yeah, I know. I couldn't help. I lost my weapon again.
You fought you fought Captain Shredderator, the bot that is known for dying, and yet you somehow
I like how you
He
phrased
wouldn't
it.
die.
I like how you
Why?
phrase it known for dying.
Despite his best efforts, he would not die.
Yeah.
I had no such luck. He would not die on me, so I was stuck with going the distance.
Man,
Or
have you tried
I think
just
it
not
was
going the
Smurf who
distance?
said take a sip every time someone says never let go to the judges. Go off of the TCC drinking game. Finish your drink if Captain Shredderator goes to the makes it the full 3 minutes. I'll add that to your thing. Smurf.
Just take the whole bottle.
Oh yeah, take the whole
Chug it
bottle,
all.
chug it or something.
Well, that's a credit to Shredderator, though.
Oh,
If
yeah.
he makes it
Yeah.
that far, he stepped it up.
Yeah,
Oh
there's
yeah,
a
like I
huge-
still give Captain Shredderator credit for when they survived the full 3 minutes with Shatter, despite getting pulverized time and time again with that hammer
Yeah.
and taking as much damage as they did, seeing all the pieces that were flying off that robot after that fight. And
Yeah.
but yeah, one thing
Yeah.
I am curious about, what did cause the weapon to go flying off there in that fight?
It's just he has so much more mass on his weapon. I'm going weapon to weapon. You never want to go weapon to weapon, but you almost have no choice. And the way my head was mounted, it was really hard for me to avoid the knockers. But I was just hoping I knew one way or another was one of us was going to fail, and I knew I could possibly get one of those knockers off of there. That was my only hope. Other than that, I was just going to control them.
Yeah.
But weapon to weapon is not a good solution. I don't care what your robot is.
Yeah. And regardless of the strategy did work out very well. And that's definitely
it was a
the
fun
aggression
fight.
control you provided, like especially with that configuration to keep Shredderator from spinning up the full, including when they took damage, when they lost that tooth that caused them to lose balance for the rest of the match. That's what sealed it in my mind that Ghost Raptor is probably going to take that judge's decision.
Yeah, I think it would have been an even split. I think we would have seen something a lot closer. Maybe he would have taken it. If it was just that like couple moments where we had him in the corner and we got him with the sledgehammer.
Yeah, absolutely.
That was it. Just a couple moments. Didn't do a thing to him, but it just was the appearance of there's control and there's damage.
Absolutely. Bleze and Civ or Smurf, you three want to talk about the fight?
Ghost Raptor won the fight for sure. I think that it was definitely a close fight, and I was gonna ask if you guys agreed with the decision, but obviously most of us are correct. I think all of us are
Um,
actually correct.
Yeah. I like this fight. One thing I will manage
Civ,
to
I'm
point
still
out.
Civ, I was still talking though.
Talk.
All right. It was definitely an entertaining fight. I think there's only one fight in this episode that wasn't really entertaining, and that was Ghost Raptor's next fight. And I think Chuck would agree with me.
Yeah. I didn't even want to watch it.
He's
Honestly.
so bad that he doesn't want to watch.
It's like on one hand, we got Hypershock Sporkanock last season where it sounds like the fight was so bad they didn't even reveal it on YouTube, but then you didn't want to watch that fight or something like that. But
Bro.
Yeah, it's brutal when it just goes that badly and you're like, oh man, everybody saw that. It's not just me failing in a parking lot somewhere.
Man, can't believe you failed in a parking lot, man. That sucks.
yeah.
I mean, what about that time you fought Dr. Inferno Jr. in a parking lot? I saw that video. The Alpha
Did you
Raptor back in
really?
the day.
I thought that was an
I'm the OG.
underground.
I'm the OG Team Raptor fan. I can prove
You're
it.
holy
Oh yeah,
shit.
Prove it.
Pory's
We got-
got
we got the
Pory's got
Alpha
some
Raptor
plans for this
Battle
one.
Bat-
That was
Raptor.
out on beta.
We have the Beta Raptor keychain, the battle chain still carded.
What did you have on your birthday cake again? Which Raptor?
Wait, we're getting to that. We got Tripolta Raptor mini bot.
Oh my god, I don't even have one of those.
And
Shit.
we got I got the Ghost Raptor on my shirt. Repping.
Oh man.
And when
Man,
I was
Pory-
11
Pory's
years
a
old,
Superman.
when I was 11 years old, I had a photo of Tripolta Raptor, like the photo from like the Battlebots website, printed onto my birthday cake.
So what do you think of Predaraptor? If you like Travoltaraptor, wait, did you ever watch any of the Predaraptor fights?
I think I've seen like some videos of it.
Yeah, you know, actually Predaraptor was on a lot of TV shows. I don't know if you know that. This is an unknown fact. It was on CSI Cyber. It was on
Oh, I heard about
Disney's
that.
Lab Rats. It was on it was on Showtime Shameless. It was on the same episode as a drug mule, and I take a
That's pretty
that's I take a lot of credit for that. It was on, one of the few robots that was on an episode of a drug mule.
like, how does that work? Does it like when you're on when you get asked, does like a does like the TV show like hit you up, like call you and be like, hey, we want your robot to be on?
Well,
the show?
it's just opportunistic because nobody was building robots. This was like the in-between times, the dark times of robot
Okay.
combat. There wasn't even even robo games was kind of like not really a thing, but it was up in the Bay Area. I was in LA, so I had Predaraptor down in LA. It was always working. I always had it working. And it would be one of those things where someone would call me up, hey, do you have a robot? Can you come next week? Like, yeah, I'm there. And so that happened like 5 or 6 different TV shows.
Night, Blaze. Enjoy the rest of your night.
Take care, Blaze.
Right.
Okay, so another question I have, it's a little bit of a thing that's debated in the robot combat community. Okay, so Tripolta Raptor was in a Super Bowl commercial where you fought like a fridge.
Technically, it wasn't in a Super Bowl commercial.
Well, but it was like a beer.
That was
commercial.
Inflictor.
But is it true that Tripolta Raptor was banned from season 5 because of that? Is that a factual thing?
That is true. There's
Okay.
a lot of semi-truths and truths. I'm not sure where it ends and begins, but you could also say that the lawsuit that was brought against BattleBots, or BattleBots brought against Bud Light, might have brought down the Comedy Central connection because Bud Light is a major sponsor.
Oh.
So it just turned out badly.
Yeah,
That's
I was
all
gonna
I can say.
like it seems like a
I
silly
mean,
thing to sue for,
Yeah, I think they should have rode that wave a little bit, and I think in hindsight, Greg and Trey kind of acknowledged that. But personal opinion, I think they had some really bad legal advice.
Yeah.
But whatever the case, that was a great. I thought it was a great episode. I thought that was a great, or not great episode, but great commercial. I think it was a really neat thing to be a part of. I think kind of made BattleBots a little more mainstream because you introduced it to probably
Oh yeah.
Who
I
knows
bet
how
some
many
people-
people.
I bet people saw the
millions and
commercial
millions
and
of
were like,
people.
we're like, oh, I want to get into that because I know I had a few friends back in the day who specifically got into BattleBots because of the Malcolm in the Middle episode where they
Oh,
watched like
yes.
Las Vegas '99
Yeah.
on VHS and thinking it's porn, and then like the dad like builds a robot with like a bee cannon and stuff. Like I know a few people
Yep.
who legitimately got into BattleBots because they saw that and they were like, oh, this is really cool. And I'm sure
Yeah.
the beer commercial is no different. And which robot fought an actual fridge? That was Predaraptor, was it? At Robo Games?
That was Predaraptor. That was hydraulic. I think that was a hydraulic version of Predaraptor.
Classic.
Yeah, and yeah, I mean, Predaraptor seemed to be doing great, and then it lost a drive, and it was shut down. It lost. We were using robot EQs, and for whatever reason, I think one of the connectors just got disconnected. It was kind of cheesy, but whatever the case, yeah, that was kind of like a spoof on the Bud Light commercial.
Totally. Cool.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, it's like what? Yeah, because like even kind of like following that Bud Light thing, because like I think Bunny mentioned, and because like I asked a question in our BattleBots Insta group chat, basically because like one thing I really did not like about BattleBots ABC in the 2015-2016 season is they really made like you and Ray Billings look like a bad guy on there compared to like I've heard the opposite from like the community, and just wondering why they did that. And Buddy was talking about that. Buddy mentioned that.
I kind of saw when they did the reboot, and I kind of saw the way they were doing it. I'm like, man, it would be really fun to play a bad guy.
Oh yeah.
And I always felt like, oh, they kind of need that. They need the good guys. They need the bad guys. It's like, it's about the robots, but it's not really about the robots. It's about the people who build the robots. And the kind of what everybody can kind of identify with is kind of the personalities and disappointments and the
like in wrestling, so like you got
the egos. It is. It's why was wrestling so successful? You would never get it. It's like, what guys in tights? What is this? But it was, obviously it was one of the biggest things ever. And anyways, when they did the reboot, it was just a moment in time where I'm like, hey, I'm gonna submit something where I play the bad guy. And they asked for these kind of interview tapes, and they would ask, they'd give you a series of questions and make a video of this. I'm like, I'm gonna go all in. I'm gonna be the bad guy this time.
Oh yeah, I loved it though.
Awesome.
Like one of my favorite moments in season 1 was right after you flipped Ice Wave, and you're just like, "You're mine, bitch." Like that's my favorite moment from season 1.
Hey, by the way, I still have the de-icer. Does anybody want the de-icer?
I do.
Ooh, sure.
Yes.
No,
Number one robot.
I don't have a
Raptor
single
fan.
BattleBot piece on me, so it's.
All right, I'll let you guys give me an address, and I'll send it to you, and then I'll Venmo you the shipping expense. Because right now it's just like scrap in my backyard.
Oh.
It's rusty, but you can still see the de-icer.
Divvy it in four between the four of us or something.
No, you got to keep it in one piece. It's gotta be
man.
one piece.
You gotta just
you guys, you'll have to Rochambeau for the whoever gets it.
Yeah, we'll
Yeah.
fight for it.
fight for it. Oh man.
Yeah, I actually considered selling it at the garage sale, but nobody would know what it is. So I was like, okay,
this
well,
was
I
used
gotta
at a
find
yard
something.
sale.
Oh man.
Or this was using.
I bet Bleze wishes he
iconic
was
fight.
still here now after lots of us heard that. But regardless though, that'd be huge to like own the de-icer or something
that'd be
like
a
that.
piece of history.
Definitely send me an address. I need to somebody needs to take it, because otherwise it's just gonna turn into dust in my backyard.
I'll email you my address.
Okay. You got it.
Oh man. But yeah, so yeah, kind of Pory, you got any more questions for Chuck on CC era? I know Kara
I'll think of some. I
know Kara had quite a few questions, so she wasn't here, but yeah, regardless though, like this was a great fight, including I know Pory mentioned this earlier. it was like it was nice to see not just like Ghost Raptor get a victory here, but this was honestly one of the best wins that I've seen Ghost Raptor get, like ever since like the de-icer fight, where I felt that was such a genius showdown and genius strategy, and definitely led to a very entertaining victory and what was probably the biggest upset that season. So
yeah, I was for this one, you know, for the ice wave fight. At that time, I didn't realize how weak of a robot Ghost Raptor was in the moment. Going into this fight, I realized, man, you know, I just got to make the most of this, whatever I can do. I felt like, yeah, maybe I have a decent chance of winning, but I'm not going to go all the way in this Bolt tournament. I just know it's not going to work out. Especially going against Whiplash. Even if the robot was running well in Whiplash, I wasn't going to go away. So I just made the most of it.
yeah. And by the way,
but this was the most euphoric. When I won this fight, the team and everybody else was through the moon. I mean, just over it. This was the most euphoric win I think I've ever experienced, because it's just been that long of a time, right? Since I've had a legit good win.
Oh
yeah, absolutely. And yeah, Civ, after this podcast, I got something I'm gonna message you about involving the de-icer thing.
Okay. I actually do want to say one thing about the fight. I did like the fight. However, I do want to mention that in like the fight reveal and like showing short clips of each fight, they showed the clip of Ghost Raptor losing their weapon and also them being set on fire, and I'm like, why would you do that?
Yeah, that's the other thing I forgot to mention. Like, yeah, we saw Ghost Raptor's fuel tank go up, which I'm guessing Shredderator punctured it or something like that, resulting in a slow leak.
I still don't know exactly how that worked out. We had just on a spoof, we had the flamethrower sticking out the ass. I don't know. I mean, you guys saw the opener.
Yeah.
And you know, my before I pushed the button, they didn't show it on national TV, but I said I fart in your general direction, and then we exercised the flame effect. So they missed all that. But whatever the case, I don't know why the flame did what it did. I don't know why that. There just was a leak or something else, but I don't think he actually physically hit anything. I could be wrong.
I don't know, but regardless though, it was awesome to see anyway, and see Ghost Raptor still come out with the victory anyway, because yeah, very entertaining fight and solid victory for Ghost Raptor.
Hey, did anybody like my shoulder roll during the opener, like when I was walking out?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, yes, I remember
roll?
that.
Oh man, I don't know. I was just feeling really saucy, and I was like, let me do something different.
Yes, there was that, and when Chris and Kenny were kind of promoting like the punk rockster or type theme, you were kind of promoting a little bit with the outfits, but
the front man,
yeah.
Yeah, I got to just play whatever I can in the sport. I got to enjoy it as much as I can, because otherwise it's a lot of heartache.
Yeah, well, anyway, let's go ahead and move on to the next fight then. First fight of the second round, best image I could find, Black Dragon and Perfect Phoenix. So big story with Perfect Phoenix for this one. And Pory and I were talking about this a lot. I'm guessing Civ and Smurf probably know a lot about this too, maybe Chuck as well. Basically, Perfect Phoenix had a bunch of internal problems after the Sub-Zero fight. Yeah, motor burnt out. Gearbox was busted, and from what I was hinting at, sounds like they did not have a lot of spares on them or something like that, which is unfortunate because Tyler revealed right before the fight in his game plan that Perfect Phoenix was at a whopping 169 pounds. No,
what?
Wait, what?
Wow.
Wait a second. Yeah, 169 pounds, 80 pounds underweight. Basically, what was going on is basically Perfect Phoenix was only able to run on one motor, meaning they needed to go with their shorter and their lighter bar just to handle just to be able to
Yeah.
be a bit more competitive in this fight.
Yeah.
And
I mean, to be fair, they Perfect Phoenix as it is already like 30
Oh,
pounds
yeah.
underweight because it's like a 15-year-old robot.
yeah, because I know part of it. Because I know Tyler mentioned in when Witch Doctor did their podcast series last season, and that Tyler mentioned that Perfect Phoenix was underweight by like 20 to 30 pounds, somewhere in that range, and they were debating coming with one of Tyler's like lighter competitive designs as like a mini bot, basically. And then there's also the option that Smurf mentioned in the chat box at his streamec there, which would definitely help himself right. Because like if they came back for future seasons, like definitely you're gonna want a way to self right at least. And there are lots of options out there. But regardless, though, Perfect Phoenix came into this fight with Black Dragon 80 pounds underweight for this one, and at least it was an entertaining fight, though, because like this was my favorite fight of the entire episode. And getting to see Perfect Phoenix get the airtime they got was so much fun to watch. And go ahead and
that was probably the perfect robot for Black Dragon to fight. Honestly.
Probably, honestly.
Yeah, I mean, it's light, a lot of things to grab onto. Can't
Pretty much what Smurf said. Thank you for riding Black Dragon Airlines. Oh. But yeah, Pory, Civ, what do you two got in this fight?
It was it was kind of what I expected, minus that really high up hit that almost hit the ceiling. Besides that, like pretty much went how I expected it to be. This Black Dragon's pretty well built to face horizontal spinners like that, and Perfect Phoenix, while it is a good robot, it's definitely an aged robot, and it was an uphill battle fighting Black Dragon, but it was a fun fight overall, and that one hit was just incredible.
Yeah, absolutely. Civ, you got anything you want to talk about with this fight? Smurf, you as well. You're absolutely welcome to get involved. I'll do to use just a chat box. I have the chat box pulled up. Not 100% sure if it'll appear in the video, but I'll be sure to mention it. It's up at least on my screen. So
it's how I expected this to go. I wasn't afraid by any means. Like, think about Black Dragon. I was kind of just like what I felt would happen, and even the hit, I kind of saw it, but not as much, but so far.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, kind of crazy the amount of airtime we got to see Perfect Phoenix get in this fight. Like even though part of that was probably because Perfect Phoenix was 80 pounds underweight in this one, and it was still incredible to see Black Dragon show off like that much power in that vertical spinner, because like we've never seen Black Dragon give a robot like that much airtime within a single hit. Like we've seen them land some pretty big shots. It'll give some opponents like a little bit of airtime, but almost sending Perfect Phoenix to the ceiling was a whole nother level. That was the thing. So yeah, regardless though, that was an impressive victory by Black Dragon. And the big thing though that did kind of surprise me though, well, I shouldn't really say that exactly, but I was predicting that Perfect Phoenix's spinner was going to come off, because it looked like the top was getting loose, especially like partway into the fight, because like you could see that the blade was definitely bent. It looked like the top piece that was holding the blade in was also starting to get loose at one point, to where we could have seen a repeat of like Tombstone and Gigabyte, for example, where Gigabyte lost the top pieces holding the shell spinner in place, and then Tombstone gave it the tap that caused the spinner to fall off. It looked like something like that could have occurred in this fight too, and that would have made the fight even better than what it already was if that did happen. But regardless, it was a great victory by Black Dragon, and they'll be moving on to take on the winner of the fight we'll be talking about next. So anything else on this fight? Sounds like no. this one.
It's time
Ay,
for
caramba.
Yeah. So what was kind of the strategy for taking on Whiplash then?
There wasn't. We were just trying to get a robot together at that point.
Yeah,
So
because
this was-
I suppose you mentioned earlier that there was a lot of damage after the Shredderator fight.
Yeah, well, we just started running out of parts, and part of it was, you know, we had, let's see, 4 heads. The light ones were all destroyed, and then we had lost the lift mechanism, so the head couldn't go up and down anymore. We had to lock it in place. And then, you know, we were trying to get all this together, and then we're like, okay, well, we need to add some stuff because, you know, for sure we thought Whiplash was going to come out with, you know, their weapon, right? They're going to put the weapon on the lifter and come over top. So we're like, okay, well, we got to armor everything up on the top because they're going to come down on us. Well, we get this thing together, and you know, we have like 12 hours to get it together. We get it together after the Shredderator fight, and then we put it on the scale, and it's like 10 pounds overweight. How did we get 10 pounds overweight? Where did that all come from? Well, we had put the heavy head on there, and then we didn't do the accounting properly. And then they're like, well, you guys got to get out there because otherwise you're going to forfeit. I'm like, well, okay, we'll do whatever we got to do to get out there. We didn't test it. We didn't check any of the drives. We didn't do anything. We just basically put it in the arena at that point. So that little puff of smoke you saw right in the beginning was the, you know, basically the main, you know, weapon motor failing. And then we had also lost a drive that we weren't aware of. So, you know, we were kind of dead in the water as soon as we got out of the square. And it just shows. I mean, it ended, you know, started badly, it ended badly in, you know, just a short amount of time.
Yeah, that's unfortunate. Like even you mentioned earlier that apparently you had more damage than what you had after the Cobalt fight, which surprises me a lot, to be honest, after what we saw.
We didn't really, I mean, it didn't fully assess what had happened. And you know, I suppose if we had worked through the night, we kind of probably figured out some of these things, but we just made some bad assumptions. We were like, well, it looks like it's okay. We got one more head, we'll just slap that on in the morning, we'll be okay. And you know, there's just a lot more to do than we fully realized.
Yeah, that's unfortunate that like you're working like right up to the minute, right up to like the last minute right there, and wasn't able to test it and everything.
Yeah,
and
yeah, the test, you always got to test.
Yeah,
That's
absolutely.
the thing.
Yeah, it was unfortunate to see Ghost Raptor go out like that. But I would. Yeah, I would still call this a successful season for Ghost Raptor for the most part there, because
Well, yeah, I mean, if you measure in fun, yeah, we had a lot.
Oh yeah,
it was good. Yeah.
And then to be honest, I disagreed with the Ghost Raptor glitch decision.
Yeah, I mean, I could have definitely. I don't disagree with it from the perspective of they definitely did more damage. So why would they not win? The only thing that they didn't have was, okay, well, yeah, sure, I could have left them stuck on the floor, but that sucks. I just wasn't gonna, I mean, I wasn't gonna do it. And problem is you get too close to somebody and you're like, okay, we're not gonna let them go out like that. And so, sure, we helped out a little bit. But whatever the case, I don't disagree with that decision. You know, it just, if Ghost Raptor was meant to win, we would have, you know, peeled off a piece of their armor or something else, but we didn't do that.
Yeah, definitely. And as Smurf and Pory are doing in the chat, definitely comment below ghost emoji for Ghost Raptor right there. Like,
love the Ghost Raptor.
Yeah, that's my Slack avatar.
Oh, that's awesome.
Oh,
yeah. Ghosty.
Yeah. It was too bad to see Ghost Raptor go out like this, because didn't I hear in a Reddit post this was Ghost Raptor's final fight?
Yeah, I mean, it would never. I would say that even if I build or rebuild something, it's not going to be Ghost Raptor. I'll call it something else. It's this would be it.
Yeah, kind of like I
Signing
was gonna
off.
go, that kind of goes into like my next question, like yeah, because like we've heard that from I heard from Reddit that you're considering retiring Ghost Raptor. Is that accurate?
Oh yeah, yeah. I mean,
And
that's
then my
done.
other
The
question,
robot is just not competitive. It hasn't been even since I would say in 2016 it wasn't competitive, and it's it's a quarter competitive as it was back then. Because everybody else has advanced so far.
yeah. And then yeah, kind of like my other question. I know Pory, I think, was wondering about this too. Will we see you and the team back at BattleBots one day with like a different design, similar to something like what Kraken is up to, or they'll be back with a different robot?
Yeah, I would have to. I mean, if I came back, and it's tough to say whether that's going to happen or not, just because of the commitment. Yeah, and it means it's like a full year-long commitment. It's not just like 3 months, right? Prep.
Yeah, I think
Kara,
Kara, one of our other friends, is mentioning he wants to see bring back like a new version of like Alpha, Beta, or Gamma Raptor, but then add like lots of the defenses you had like in the Shredderator fight for that one. I don't.
It would have to be a completely different robot. I mean, and I don't even know about the modularity part of it, because I don't know how effective. It's been good for a couple matches, but then for the most part, I just get racked match after match. And you look at the ones that are successful, like a Tantrum, they're just solid bricks. They don't change much. They don't have to change much. So yeah, it's got to be a completely different design. It's got to be, like billet low drive wheels, really dense, and just try to keep everything tight so you don't have so much to grab onto and so many things to break. And simple, because the whole lifter spinner thing, man, that was a bitch.
Yeah, it was cool to see, and we got so many entertaining fights out of it. But you're definitely right that like while it is fun to see like all the chaos and carnage, definitely like even after like the jackpot fight from the previous season, and
I'm gonna have all this PTSD now thinking about all these
like it's crazy what it's crazy what that amount of damage can like do to like the builders in terms of like commitment and all that stuff. And
jackpot was another one of those. It's like, we looked at it before the fight, it's the same glitch. I was like, I'm worried about glitch, and I didn't think they were going to get the robot running, and we kept like postponing the fights. I mean, that glitch fight was postponed like 3 times before we finally got in the arena. And I was like, man, they're going to have a hard time on that floor, because they were having a hard time in the test box. But the same thing with Jackpot. Jackpot was, we looked at Jackpot and we're like, yeah, it's a dangerous weapon, but you don't have to worry about it, because you'll just maneuver around the side of it. You see how that worked out.
Yeah, that was definitely kind of like the case for their fight with Sub-Zero, but then they really got that sorted out starting at this fight with you. Right there.
Yep.
But yeah, it's still a really emotional time, because like Ghost Raptor Ghost Raptor, like Kraken. There's been several entertaining moments out of that robot. Like within like its four seasons it's competed in BattleBots, and it's heartbreaking even to me to see it, but it's understandable, because like how competitive it is compared to like Tantrum you named, and several of the other big names that have emerged from the field. And
they're accelerating too. And you look at Tantrum, Tantrum Blip combination, that team, I swear they have 20 members, right?
Yeah.
And
the crazy thing is lots of them went to the same college that I'm currently attending
well, that's where they developed
too.
that bond, right? You got that bond, you got that common interest, and it's tough to find team members, especially when you get older, that can commit that kind of time. That are willing to just break out all that time. Everybody's got PTO limitations and family commitments, and cost constraints because everybody's already earmarked all that money for college or vacation home or vacations, whatever. So you can't dump all that money into a robot when you're older. You do this stuff when you're younger, and then you got the team members that support you, and then it just goes a lot better when you have 20 people on a team.
Yeah, absolutely. Including even Tantrum even revealed they have a third robot in mind they look to design and compete with in a future season. Although they did mention that they would be dropping either Tantrum or Blip. I think Aaron said most likely Tantrum.
Yeah, he said he's less interested in Tantrum.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow, that's just amazing because you think, oh, well, why would you quit? You've just been so successful. Why would you stop using that machine?
Like apparently Dylan actually convinced Aaron to bring 2 robots for the recent season, because originally it sounded like they were only going to compete with Blip, but then but then the others convinced them to bring Tantrum back as well, but then some of them would run Tantrum, as what we saw in the recent season, and we saw how that went.
It went very well for them.
Oh yeah. Went very well for both robots, because Blip made a serious run in the tournament, and hopefully soon, and hopefully in one of these next few seasons we'll see Blip hurl a robot to the ceiling. So
that's the goal. For sure.
Yeah, and so then anything else on this fight, or Poor, you got any questions for Chuck on
okay,
the Central Air questions?
Does Gamma Raptor still exist?
Actually, I think I have 4 of them still.
Wow. Cool.
I was just looking at them the other day. I got 2 of them stacked on a shelf, and then I have one of them a couple years back, 2012. I built 2 of them for Lenovo for a special event in Las Vegas, where they would actually drive the Gamma Raptors through a Lenovo ThinkPad at first-person view.
Cool.
And I still have that system set up on one of them. The other one I think I broke down, but I still have all of them. They survived.
Okay.
They take up garage space. You want one of those?
Yeah, I actually really do. I would buy a Gamma Raptor, honestly.
Yeah, at some point I'm gonna cleanse, and I'm gonna have to just, find homes for these things.
Yeah, I mean, if you need a home for a Gamma Raptor,
I'll give him some free advertising. You should message Lars, because I'm sure Lars would definitely buy one of those off of you, knowing how many heavyweights he's already got.
I'll feed it every day. I'll take good care of it.
Yeah. Okay, so
we'll talk later.
All right, cool.
Yeah, we'll definitely talk after this podcast.
Oh yeah, we're on a podcast. That's right.
Yep. Well, anything else on this fight, or should we move on to the?
We should definitely move on.
Okay, now I managed to find an image of what was my favorite moment to this fight.
Oh, I love that part.
We saw not only Black Dragon get suplexed by Overhaul, we got to see it get suplexed by Whiplash too, right on the upper deck too, which is, basically, I knew this fight was going to come down in one of 2 ways. There was the way that happened, which would be Maddie Vasquez out driving Black Dragon once again, like what we saw happen in their first meeting. Or I was going to see Black Dragon catch an edge on one of those forks on Whiplash and just start ripping apart the front of Whiplash, resulting in probably them winning the fight based off of damage right there. And sure enough, the first one ended up happening, but this was pretty much just another driving war once again. Maddie Vasquez out driving the Brazilian team, and it was a solid fight by another solid driving performance by Maddie Vasquez. And what's everyone else's thoughts on this fight?
That's an interesting fork combination you decided to put on the front. I haven't watched this fight yet. I'm watching it live right now.
Yeah, Pory and Civ, what do you 2 got in this fight?
Those suplexes were so freaking good. Just getting into that slot, that was awesome. Definitely top tier moment. What do you think, Civ?
I liked the moments from Whiplash. I think it's kind of pretty memeable that Black Dragon lost a belt to a lifter robot.
Again, actually.
Wait, who did lose a lifter? Belt
Or I guess
to-
I was counting the first meeting too.
Well, Whiplash was a spinner back then, to be
Yeah.
fair.
But still though, your point still stands though.
Yeah, it was a fun fight. I was kind of hoping Black Dragon would win this one, despite my shit talking on green. So kind of sad, but still a good fight overall.
That was awesome. I just watched the suplex.
Yeah,
Put it on the
definitely.
deck.
I felt this was a more entertaining version of their first fight, in my opinion, just with those suplexes alone that Whiplash managed to get on Black Dragon. Like even though I'm a Black Dragon fan, like because Chuck, I'm a fan of the Brazilian robots. They're kind of they're my favorites so far,
It's
just
hard,
because
it's hard not to love
the robots
Daniel.
are awesome, the teams are awesome. And
Yeah, I do. I love their energy. You know, one of the best moments of BattleBots for me was it was really late at night. It was right after the Shredderator fight. The entire pit was empty, and the Brazilians started singing. And it was just, it was magical, man. I mean, it just sounded so good because the acoustics were so good, and the pit and the tent, nobody was in there. And it was like me and the Brazilians, and they were on the other side of the tent. I'm like, wow, man, I just love being around these people. They're just so amazing.
that's honestly really funny, and I'm really glad that they did that.
Yeah, I mean, it was really nice. I wish somebody would have captured that on film because it was a special moment.
Yeah, definitely. Why didn't Battlebots collect that on film?
Because it was probably like
Battlebots, if you're
1
watching
o'clock in the
this.
morning and nobody was there.
Yeah, you captured Ray delivering the villain plaque to Jake Ewert, but didn't collect that.
Yeah.
But that would have been fun. There's so many stuff that I've heard happen that I wish Battlebots included, because like when Malice and Axe Backwards fought last season, basically Bunny even mentioned in the same Insta group chat that apparently in the pits, Kurt and Bunny were really going at it, roasting each other, similar to what we were seeing similar to what we were kind of seeing with all the trash talk there, and all that stuff would have been fun to see. If there's so much fun stuff to see that I wish Battlebots included, but unfortunately didn't. Probably because they didn't have the time for it or anything like that. Because like they do have a limited amount of time compared to like my YouTube videos where there's no limit on it's way less limited for me when I upload a YouTube video.
Yeah. I mean, they have crews for everything, but they only have so many crews.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, it was a solid victory. I felt this was probably the most one-sided decision so far, in my opinion, and just because Whiplash just outdrived and buyed Black Dragon the entire time in this one. I think this one was probably pretty clear that Whiplash was going to take this one, but it was a great way for Black Dragon to go out anyway, I feel, even though they didn't get like destroyed or anything like that, or didn't get put on fire where they survived the full 3 minutes again or something, but it was still fun to watch. And yeah, I hope we'll get to see Black Dragon again next season, because like it's one of my favorites. So
yeah, it's good to see him win. I like to see Jeff and his family win.
Yeah. And then
I've known him for 20 years. And
oh
I've done
yeah,
a bunch
because
of
like
projects outside of, because they live down in LA. I would do projects with Jeff outside of BattleBots, other things.
Including Pory and I want a Ribot Black Dragon rematch, even though we know Black Dragon would win it again.
No.
Ribot's gonna win that.
Well, anyway, anything else on this fight, or should we get to Whiplash and Witch Doctor?
Do it. Do the big dog.
Whiplash Witch Doctor, which had to seal that scene right there, because that was my favorite moment of the match, when Whiplash took Witch Doctor into screws and then got them in the position where they were able to get them up on the upper deck, which was incredible in my opinion, and a really fun fight to watch. Basically, what I'll say is like this was probably one of my favorite finals between the five BattleBots Champions brackets, because like Yeah, because like I'd say the only other one really up there, in my opinion, would probably be the Hypershock Gigabyte for reasons that lots of us probably know why. And
Yeah.
because like this was a really back and forth fight, because Whiplash had some Matt Vasquez had some amazing driving moments, because his strategy for this fight, as he mentioned right before the fight began, is to avoid the first big hit, because like he knew if Witch Doctor got a big hit on Whiplash, they would just have to continue that onslaught. It could be all over for Whiplash right there. And so he wanted to avoid that first hit, basically. And he was doing a great job at first, even though they did take some hits very early on, bent one of the forks back temporarily, but did a great job driving wise. Got Witch Doctor on the upper deck once or twice. And yeah, so Pory and Civ, you two want to talk about the fight, or Smurf as well?
Yeah. This fight was fun. It was a good time. I would definitely want Whiplash to win it, but it was still a very good fight. Lots of good moments from both robots, and it was a good time. Shout out to Autodesk 360 for spoiling that this fight was happening in the intro of all their videos, and yeah.
Thank goodness I hadn't seen that video at least, but
all their videos, like every video they've done recently where they interview a team, the opening has a clip of this fight in it.
Thank goodness I haven't seen any of those videos. I'm going to rephrase it to that. So yeah, because like I know the only fights I knew for sure I had seen clips of from Autodesk was Ghost Raptor Captain Shredder actually, but I actually originally thought it was Extinguisher that was in flames, to be honest. It's just because like I saw the point on the back of Ghost Raptor and saw that more as like Extinguisher's hammer or something like that. Kind of get what I was talking about there, but and then also the big moment from Deep Six and Huge. But Civ, you want to talk about this fight?
Yeah, it was fun. It was kind of strange that they gave Witch Doctor a light. But it's kind of sad that Whiplash went out the way it did, because it was definitely winning the fight before it got that Witch Doctor got that big hit, in my opinion.
Yeah, I would probably agree with you on that, actually.
Yeah, it had a ton of control, ton of aggression. Matt Vasquez clearly knows what he's doing with his robot, and it's only, as Chris and Kenny said, it's probably only a matter of time until Whiplash wins the giant part. I feel like there's like 3 robots that are like that, where like they always don't win the giant nut, but they're going to at some point. Whiplash is definitely one of those 3 robots, in my opinion.
Yeah, I was talking to somebody else in DMs a little, I believe a couple days ago, and this guy mentioned that like Sawblaze and Whiplash Whiplash, and Rotator, I believe, are the 3 he named.
Yeah, I'd agree with that.
Like they're bound to win the giant nut one day or something like that.
Yeah,
at least, and I would totally agree with that. And yeah, like I would say Whiplash was winning the fight up to the point where Witch Doctor got the knockout blow right there, because like I felt 2/3 of the fight was Whiplash out driving Witch Doctor, with Witch Doctor getting a hit here and there with their single tooth spinner right there. And but yeah, it was a little bit disappointing how Whiplash went out, but it was an entertaining fashion at least. But
Yeah.
so if you hadn't seen Whiplash's social media posts, basically what happened there is that hit that Witch Doctor got that flipped Whiplash over, you could see it right in the fight there, and then Whiplash pointed it out on an image they posted. Their receiver for their lifter fell out, and so they lost signal to their lifter from there. And
they also lost that front left wheel, or front right wheel.
Yeah, that too, because I saw, which would be I think the first time a Brazilian wheel had been lost, basically, like during a fight, I think. And I could be wrong about that, but it's at least the first time I can remember of. But
if you count Duck's lost wheels.
Oh, I suppose Duck kind of counts. Yeah, probably agree with that. But yeah. Regardless, though, this was a great fight, I felt. Back and forth, which are lots of fights we like to see. At least I like to see. I think some of the others would agree. And
yeah, I like to see it.
And yeah, Whiplash, sad to see them go out, but what like what was said, I bet they'll win the Giant Nut one year because they got their greatest weapon being Maivez right behind the controls right there, and got a great team behind them, great design right there, and I'm sure definitely Whiplash has the potential to take the Giant Nut in a future season. So, and then Witch Doctor moved on to the Golden Bolt tourney with that victory, and where they're confirmed to take on Glitch in the first round of it. I would pull up the bracket, but like some of us already talked about that. We already released our prediction podcast, so be sure to check that out if you want to, hear some of our takes on that one. And yeah, our brackets are relatively similar, though, I will admit, which surprised me a little bit with how many big names there are in that bracket. So should be great. Yeah, anything else on Witch Doctor and Whiplash?
Yeah, I see Whiplash, and he's suffering a little bit from older robot syndrome, because that's basically the same design they've had since 2015.
Yeah, because they had Splatter in 2015 and 2016, even though the 2015 one we only have a small clip of it.
You put him
full fights.
You put him in control of any robot, it's going to do well. I think they might consider, like, going the route of just getting more dense, tighten it up, make a dense robot, and something that's a little more bulletproof.
Yeah, definitely.
So, but it's obviously a really successful design.
Yeah, and despite like it being such an older design, like what you mentioned right there, like they've been doing I would say they've been doing a really good job, like improving it to keep it like at the competitive level that like we're seeing from this season. Like even though it is a little bit more on the boring side that we didn't see the vert at all this season, and like definitely it's still a very competitive design, and like definitely lots to talk about there. And hopefully we'll soon get to see the Remar's recent season where Whiplash did take on Blip in that one. So which I bet I'm predicting they release those soon, because so then anything else on this fight then? Or really anything else on this episode?
Actually, I want to share with you guys something that you don't normally, because they do the TV edits, but you don't get everything necessarily. So right after the Cobalt fight, sometimes you don't really get to see what happens in the driver booth, but everybody probably thinks I was really broken up in that moment when Cobalt tore me in half, basically. But you can see Eric Dyer, who's the co-driver, just looking at the machine and just cracking up. Let me share this with you because it's pretty good. Oh yeah, can you enable screen sharing?
All right, try now.
Okay. All right, so here's John Remar, and I'm trying to convince John in that moment I can get the robot working for sure. Just give me a minute. Just give me another second. I'm gonna get this thing moving. Just give me a minute.
Like, bro,
No, really, John, come on, man.
I can still win this.
Come on. I got this, man. Come on. I got it. No, really. I got this. I'm gonna get it moving. Come on, don't count me out, John. Come on, don't count me out. No, I got this. It's good. It's good.
Everything's okay.
And there we go. That's it. Yeah, I don't even think they showed the full effect of the smoke.
Yeah, because I know at one point we saw the lithium smoke and the chemicals coming out of the robot, but definitely not the full effect.
And we saw like Trey Roski come out there with like the thing to suck up the smoke and stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, they made me come in there, put on the gas mask, with the gloves and pull the batteries out because it was such a hazmat scene. It was so bad. Yeah, it was actually quite liberating, just peeling this thing apart from the inside out. Oh, anyways, I know it felt like, oh man, I feel so bad for Chuck. Don't feel bad for me. I enjoyed this movie.
Yeah, I think Matt even
that's
mentioned. I
like,
think Matt even mentioned that he felt bad, but then he mentioned that I think he also mentioned that you were kind of laughing about that whole thing.
I was dying. I wasn't just laughing. It was so good.
On the plus side, that's like that's definitely the most viewed, most played clip of any fight of the season. And I'm sure it's gonna be like Ice Wave versus Vanquish, where they're gonna just be playing it like every episode for the next like 3 years.
Yes.
Yeah, good time.
Regardless, that's incredible. Thanks for sharing that.
Yeah, that was funny.
Yeah, that was super awesome.
Oh,
yeah, so then anything else on this episode then? Or should we close this one out?
Ghost Raptor signing off.
Yeah, so anyway, thanks for watching this podcast. Be sure to hit like and subscribe button. Check out Pory, Civilian Arc, Bleze Gaming. I'll add Bradley Boy to the description as well, even though he's a lot more famous than all of us other YouTubers that are here. It was great. It was great having you all on here, especially you, Chuck. It was an honor to get to talk. It was an honor to get to talk to you on this podcast.
Repping
cheers.
After.
Yeah, definitely. See, Pory was really well prepared, but
I was well prepared.
Yeah. Either way, thanks for watching this podcast, and also, by the way, I'll leave Ghost Raptor's social media info in the description down below.
Thanks, Pory, for bringing it back, man. I hadn't seen some of that stuff in years.
Always gotta show love to the classic era.
Thanks for watching, and I'll see you for the next podcast.